Hello, all you lovely people. I've got a beautiful recipe for you. This is the most incredible rhubarb and custard tart. It's soft, gooey, gorgeous. It's got crumbly homemade pastry. It is an amazing thing that you can make with your friends and family. So what I'm going to do is split it up into the three parts. We've got the pastry, we've got a custard, and we've got a beautiful rhubarb and apple compote. Okay, we're going to make it look amazing. Let me show you how to make the beautiful compote of rhubarb and apples. It's a great combination. So first up, this is forced rhubarb. And I'm going to take the floury end off, but the beautiful stalks, that's the rhubarb, is amazing. There you go. All the leaves have gone. We'll compost this. We definitely don't want to eat this. We've got a kilo of this lovely rhubarb that's been washed. Just cut it up into like chunks about 3 centimeters in length. Get yourself a nice large pan, and on a high heat, medium high heat, I will add the rhubarb. So to go with this, I'm going to add some apples. So I've got 3 beautiful eating apples, about 500 grams, and I'm going to peel them. So using eating apples is really nice. They've got good texture. Each different type of eating apple has completely different flavor and texture. You need 500 grams. So peel them, quarter them, and then get rid of the core, cut them into 3 centimeter, then just cut them in half like that, big chunks. Stir in the apple like that. You can hear the heat happening now. 125 grams of sugar goes in, and then a little swig of water. Loads of liquid will come out of the rhubarb and the apple. It smells amazing. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit, so it's just above medium. 15 minutes of cooking until tender. So for the custard, I want to go old school. In a pan here, it's not on the heat yet, we're going to go in with 500 mils of lovely milk. Grab yourself a tablespoon, not a dessert spoon. And we're going to go in with a level tablespoon of the custard powder. Do that 3 times, so 45 grams of custard powder. Just whisk in this lovely powder. Now I can put the temperature on. So into there, I'm going to add like 2 or 3 tablespoons of golden caster sugar and a good teaspoon or 2 of vanilla, right? So do it as much as you like. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in, look at that. Just whisk that up. So in no time at all, as that milk comes up to a simmer, can you see how it's thickened? So as this kind of just cooks out for a minute or 2, have a look at this. Look, it's getting really bubbly. Look at the colour. Look at the colour. I'm taking the lid off because it's getting excited in there. So into this baked blind pastry tart. So you can see it's steaming now. That will cool down for 20 minutes, and naturally a skin will form on the top of that custard. So this has had 15 minutes. Turn it off. And we're going to pour it into that colander. Now, there's a reason that I do this, right? You've got the most incredible natural juice that comes out of this compote, okay? Look underneath and look at that beauty. That is extraordinary, right? So what's brilliant about this little method is gravity and the natural kind of filtering of this compote gives you 2 things. It gives you the perfect consistency to go on that custard, and then you get this incredible, natural, almost cordial that we can just boil up a little bit until it's thick, and you can drizzle it over your tart. So I'm going to let that cool down, and let that cool down, and just for 1 minute, let that kind of reduce and thicken, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I've just been rolling out the ball of pastry. So this is about the thickness of a £1 coin. The custard has cooled down, and you can see that natural skin. It's quite robust, okay? So now I'm going to put our amazing compote straight in the middle, and then just use that spoon to flatten it out. Beautiful. So what I want to do now is get this beautiful pie top on here. I need a little bit of glue, so obviously we're going to use egg wash. So I've just beaten up 1 egg here. Just go around the little edge here. Super simple. What I'm going to do now is go to the edge of our pastry and put it around your rolling pin, and then just roll up the whole thing, just like this. And then very simply, then unroll it over the top like that. And then you use this rolling pin again, just to go around the edge. It's quite annoyingly satisfying to take or kind of crimp off the pastry. Really simple, really easy. And then we can use this pastry here to make some decorations, right? So we're gonna dress this up now, and this is all optional extra stuff, right? Just take some almonds, flaked almonds, right? And a brilliant little tip is if you put some icing sugar, just a teaspoon or two, right? Don't need much, and a little bit of water, just a few drips of water, right? You mix it up like this, and it goes a little bit claggy. And if you sprinkle this over the top like this, when that bakes, these almonds will be the best almonds you've ever had. Then, have a look at this. I've got ahead of the game. How amazing they are, right? So, no talent has made this at all. I've cheated. So if you go online, you can get these little marzipan or pastry cutters. They are 2 a penny. They are cheap as chips. Let's have some fun with this. So I'm going to take a big one like this, go in, you push down, and then you must press the top bit like that. Then it comes off like that, and you just prise it away. And once you've got that, then we can lay this on our beautiful tart. Look at that. So we can do that with a few different shapes, and then I'll use the rest of these just to finish off this beautiful tart, and it just makes your rustic tart just look a little bit more special. Last but not least, a little bit more of the egg wash. You can give it a last little pinch of sugar. That's it, job's done. I'm now going to put this in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for about 40 to 45 minutes until golden and gorgeous. You're going to love it. So there you go. That is our incredible rhubarb and custard tart. It's gone gorgeous and golden. Look at the little almonds here. They've just kind of frosted in the most beautiful way. So look, let's just get into it, because I want to show you exactly what's going on the inside. You ready? Look at that. Crispy pastry, gorgeous topping, the almonds, the rhubarb, the custard. Right, let's plate this up. It's going to be really special. Take some of that beautiful liquor, the syrup from the rhubarb, and just give it a little drizzle on the top. Enough yapping, time to eat. Amazing. So there you go, guys. An absolute classic flavor combination. Beautiful crumbly homemade pastry. If you want the full recipe, then go and check it out on my Jum app. Enjoy. We're going to do some cooking. We're going to make a beautiful, beautiful apple pie. It's gorgeous. It's got a twist. The ginger, the elderflower, beautiful blackberries. Your mates will come round and they'll absolutely love that. So nice. So first of all, I'm going to peel these apples. We're going to use a Bramley's apple and some eaters as well. But what I don't want you to do is chuck the skins away. They've got loads of flavour and colour. And what I want you to do is just throw it in a pan with a handful of sugar and a swig or 2 of water. Put 2 blackberries in there, a couple of sprigs of mint. This cooks down to make the most wonderful, wonderful syrup. Really nice with ice cream. The nice thing about mixing up the eating apples with the Bramley apples is you get different textures, different flavours, which makes the ultimate apple pie. So I've got about, 3 eaters, 1 Bramley going in. Let's spice it up now. I'm going to take some cinnamon and some nutmeg. What I want to do is create like a few extra flavours that you don't normally get in an apple pie. So I've got a warm pan, okay, this is a hot pan. In there, I'm going to put a nice knob of butter. That's the beginning of the story. We're going to go in with a pinch of cinnamon, about a quarter of a nutmeg, give it a good old shake up. And what I want to do is incorporate a few little flavours. You can buy this stem ginger in syrup, right? Pour in a little bit of the syrup and just chop up a few little bits. It's amazing that such a little bit of this ginger will make such a dramatic change to your pie. People will go crazy for it. So that's gone in there. The other thing I'm doing as well is elderflower. Absolutely gorgeous. Just a handful or so of brown sugar. Well, it's the golden sugar actually. Just enough to sweeten the apples. And then our apples go in. So, you know, for me, it's about the best apple pie ever. So I'm tossing this up. I'll cook this for about 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to use pre-bought puff pastry. So I'm going to roll out this pastry to about 10 inches. What we're going to do is we're going to load this up with some apples. All the flavours have started to cook into the apples, which is great. A handful of beautiful blackberries, whether you get them from the supermarkets, markets, or off the bush. Go and get some off the bush. These will bust and explode and sort of, you know, just create the most beautiful purple bubbly juice. So we like that. A little bit extra of that elderflower in here now. I've got an egg here. I'm just going to whip it up. We're going to make egg wash to make it golden, but also it's going to stick the pastry to the roll. I've got me 10 inches of pastry. I'm going to lay it over. Cut off that excess pastry. You don't have to waste it. You can re-roll it out or do a bit of decoration. Get this, the chimney, make a little hole in the top like that. It kind of lets the steam out. I'm going to have a little pinch up around the edge just to stick it to the side. Puff pastry's got layers of butter and pastry, so you get this lamination. You get this kind of like layered approach. It goes puffy and nice and crispy. And then we're going to egg wash the outside of this pastry like this. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with just a tiny bit of that sugar. So there you go, beautiful little pie. I'm going to bang that in the oven for around 40-45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, until it's bubbling, golden and delicious. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got these stencils here. Get a little bit of icing sugar in there. Since I got kids, you know, you do find yourself doing ridiculous things like this. So we take it off and we got our little stencils like that, which is quite cool. Whatever ice cream you're using doesn't matter. You can just scoop it up like this. I've got the syrup done. We can just pour it on. Gorgeous. I'm just going to serve a portion of our old pie here. Let's take the chimney out. And there is an ultimate apple pie. There's question marks in there, the ginger, the elderflower, a little bit of surprise, and don't waste any of that syrup in the bottom. Look at that, beautiful. We're going to make the most delicious pumpkin pie. I cannot wait to share this recipe with you. It's the perfect time of year, autumn, winter, Christmas time, of course Thanksgiving. Pumpkin pie made famous by America, Canada. They love it, and actually I love it too. So this is what you call a delica pumpkin, but you can also use squashes. Butternut squash is a really easy one to get in supermarkets. Normally in America and Canada, they often would buy this, pureed pumpkin in a tin. This is convenient, but the flavor from this is much better. So how do we cook this? It's really easy. Turn the oven on to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. Take yourself a little fork, give it a little prick, just a couple of times, and literally chuck the pumpkin in there, close the door, and let it cook for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Inside, it will go like nice and soft and gorgeous. The outside will be kind of burnt, it doesn't matter. So if you have a look at these are completely cooked now and cooling down. So I want to give you a really simple recipe and method for a classic sweet short crust pastry. The classic bit is half fat to flour. Okay, so we have 150 grams of fat, butter, nice butter. We've got 300 grams of plain flour. We're going to give it a little pinch of salt. I'm going to sweeten it just lightly with 50 grams of icing sugar. Now I want to accent it with just a little bit of orange. Orange and pumpkin, really good friends. So I'm going to take a little fine grater like this and just give it a little rub, and it smells amazing already. So we've got that there. Use your fingers, and then all we're going to do is just rub the flour and the butter together, and it just takes like a minute and a half. So now we're going to make a little well in the middle, and I'm going to steal one egg here. Nice little free-range egg. Crack that in there, no shell, and I'll just take a little fork and I'll just whisk this up. And once you've done that, we're just going to stir it in to the pastry like that. I don't want to be kneading it like bread because that's just going to make it firm and hard. We don't want that. So look, you can see it's just coming together. It's just beautiful. Now, you could wrap that up and you can put that in the fridge and let it relax. Absolutely. Fantastic. I'm actually not going to do that today because I'm going to cheat and I'm going to get on with it just to show you that you can. You would normally, once you've let it rest, sort of roll it out with a rolling pin, bit of flour. You can do all that. I want to show you that it can even be simpler, right? I'm going to just take a little bit of this pastry, slice it, and then press it into this mold like this, right? Probably slice it about just under 1 centimetre thick. And this is very simple. I'm just using my fingers to press out and join these little slices and push it up the edge. And it might not be perfect, but I like all the little notches, all the little imperfections. I like the fact that we're not trimming off the edges, okay? So that's that, right? Super easy. I can smell the orange. It's gonna be amazing. So that bit is done. I wanna use this pumpkin and I wanna puree it and get it really, really smooth. If I just cut this in half, you can see that it's soft. And if we get in there, look at the color. I mean, it's extraordinary. Just take a little bowl and get the seeds out. These seeds, by the way, you can just kind of wash them off, toss them in a bit of oil, salt and pepper, and roast them. But what we want is the flesh. We don't want the skin and we don't want the seeds. So we'll remove those. Right, let's get on with this. So what I'm gonna do is get my food processor and we want 400 grams of beautiful cooked pumpkin in there. Then I'm gonna add 175 grams of golden caster sugar in and 100 milliliters of double cream goes in as well. So we've now taken pumpkin that is traditionally sort of savory and it's now in the world of sweet. And we can go further with that delicious sweetness with a little help from some friends here. First up, let's start with vanilla. So I'm gonna go 3 teaspoons of vanilla paste. I'm then gonna use 3/4 of a level teaspoon of cinnamon. Don't go mad, right? Cinnamon's quite powerful. Then I'm gonna go for half a teaspoon of ground ginger. This is allspice. I'm just gonna go for 1/4 of an allspice. And then another great one, nutmeg. Just take that fine grater again and just do 20 little gratings. This is really gonna make this delicious. Now, 3 eggs. So we're gonna split the eggs 2 ways. So we are gonna just crack the egg and put the egg whites into a nice large bowl that we can whisk these eggs and then keep these lovely yolks here. Okay, so this is gonna go into my machine. Look at that colour. Okay, while that's doing its magic, a nice little pinch of salt and just whisk it up until it's nice and stiff. And you know when it's stiff, when you can hold it over your head and nothing happens. Woohoo! Okay, we're good to go. We have our lovely cake mix and we'll pour that into here. Look at the colour. Now we want to fold in the egg whites. So from the outside to the inside. So really go around the rim and just get all of those bits of egg whites. And even though it's not cooked, I can smell all the spices. Look at that. Okay, so in this recipe, we are not gonna bake this pastry case blind, right? We're gonna have it raw, we're gonna have it raw, and we're gonna cook it in the oven. So get your oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Look at that, heavenly. Very importantly, we're gonna put this beautiful pie, look at that, right? That's gonna go right on the bottom of the oven, right? I know that's a wood oven, ignore that. In your oven, put it on the bottom, not on a shelf, on the bottom. That way you're gonna get max temperature under that pastry. We're gonna cook it for around 45 minutes and that's gonna be utterly delicious. What's gonna happen is this will souffle up a little bit and it will look amazing. As it cools down, it will just sag and it might even crack. And it's all gonna be gorgeous. And then I'm gonna show you how to serve it with the most delicious pecan nuts that we're gonna caramelize in maple syrup. Right, let's cook this. So, it smells amazing. Okay, so this has had, I'd say, just under 50 minutes. Look at that. Such a lovely rustic pumpkin pie. Look at the colour. Really, really autumnal. Smells amazing. Okay, so now what we want to do is let that cool down so you can slice it beautifully. I like to do that onto a little cake rack like this. Look at that. Right, so let that cool down. And now I want to show you how to make the most incredible praline of pecan nuts with maple syrup. I'm going to get a pan on. So maple syrup, you know, I'm always thinking about Canada, North America. I'm thinking about, you know, all those gorgeous flavors, pumpkin. Pecan is a really nice nut to play with. Have a little look at this. Of course you can do other nuts, but it just feels a little bit more right to use pecan nuts. Delicious. So 4 or 5 tablespoons of lovely maple syrup goes in. We're going to bring that to a boil. And then as it boils, it is going to start to caramelize a bit more and thicken a little bit more. Now, when you do that, it goes a little bit darker. You're concentrating the flavor more. But also, this is currently a syrup, but when we're kind of evaporating sort of moisture from this, you're going to make basically like a little caramel that's hard, crunchy. So I'm going to put a couple of handfuls of the pecans into here and cook that into them like this. And just for like a minute or two, we're going to reduce this down so it's a nice caramel. Get a tray, get some greaseproof paper, just have a little look. You see how dark that's got? So when you're doing anything around the world of caramel, do not have kids running around, right? It is hotter than boiling water, okay? So we'll use a metal spoon, not a plastic one. And while it's hot, we'll move it around like this. And it will cool down pretty quickly. And as it cools, because you've reduced the syrup, it will cool like hard. So look, let that cool down. I've got a nice little kind of, I think a nice vibe to have with this pie. I'm gonna take that orange that we use the zest for the pastry. And I've got here some cranberry sauce. So what I'll do is just squeeze in the juice of half of that orange and just let it down, right? And I think this is really nice to have on the side with the cream and almost ripple it through. It's gonna be a good thing. So that's gonna cool down. I'm gonna wash this up and then we're gonna serve up. While that's chilling, how about giving us a little bit of love? Click the like button and even subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So this has cooled down nicely. A little tip, so if you get a bowl that's nice and sturdy, then in theory, if I put that on there like that, that falls off like that, very dramatic. So we can take that off and remove this. And then what I can do is pop this on the board and get my knife just underneath that little bit of the mold like that. Carefully run your knife around the base and carefully just move it out so it's all lovely and protect it. Look how lovely that tart looks. It's a really nice rustic tart. I love it. I love its imperfections. I love the little ridges. I love the little cracks. It feels really, really hearty. Smells amazing. So one thing to go with this is I've got some double cream here that I've taken the liberty to just whip. I'll put some in there like that and then a little bit of that orange and cranberry sauce. So I'm just gonna fold that through. It's gonna be good. So now it comes on to our little brittle here. So this is nice and cool and you can see that it's turned into kind of like a giant thing. So it's still a little bit warm. When that gets cold, that'll snap. So you can just break this off. And then what you can do over here is just chop it up. That's sensational. So we've got pecan chunks, we've got pecan brittle, we've got our lovely cranberry and cream ripple. And then here, we've got that amazing pumpkin pie. Straight into the middle, all the way down. Let's do a nice little slice. Oh, it's pretty good. So there you go, beautiful. And then we can take a few of these beautiful bits of caramelized pecan here. And look, we've got the brittle here, that can just go to the side, look at that. Oh. And then we've got our little ripple of cream and cranberry. Right, here we go. Little quiet moment in my favorite place. Crumbly pastry, soft, velvety, fluffy pumpkin pie filling. Just so many textures, so good. So guys, what are you waiting for? Homemade pumpkin pie, spiced up, go on. Have a go. Hi guys, hope you're well. So today we're gonna make a beautiful homemade crumble 3 ways. Beautiful stewed fruit with a crunchy, crispy topping. It's an easy go-to dessert to make people very, very happy. What I wanna do is start off really basic on the filling and then really basic on the topping, and then just change it up 3 times to get you all ready to go. So first up, let's start with the humblest crumble ever, the Great British Apple Crumble. Now, I grew up with just Bramley apple crumbles, delicious. But what we want to do to achieve the most appley, delicious flavour and texture is actually mix it up using different eating apples. So we've got this lovely mixture, some big chunks, some little chunks. You want to get a nice splash of water in with the apples, pan on the heat, and then I'm going to add 150 grams of sugar. Just a few strokes of lemon zest, really, really nice. So a little lid on top, give that 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then when it's a little bit tender, then we'll get the crumble topping on top and get it in the oven. So when it comes to the beautiful crumble topping, it's a really simple recipe, half fat to flour. I'm going to use a kilo of plain flour, and then we're going to use half as much butter, so 500 grams. Why am I making so much? So I can bag up the rest and put it in the freezer, and then a month later, 2 months later, you see some fruit, bang it together, crumble on top, in the oven, and you've done a dessert in no time at all. Bring this together, and then you want about 400 to 500 grams of sugar. That's golden caster sugar. You could just take a little bit of brown sugar. It gives it like a crunch. Some muscovado sugar. It's a little bit licoricey. You can do one, you can do a mix, you can even put a bit of honey in. So mix that up, add some vanilla. So you could use vanilla pods or paste. That absolutely smells amazing now. So that's your basic, standard, easy peasy crumble topping, and there you go. So I've got my apple here, sprinkle it on top. Beautiful. So in the oven it goes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for about half an hour until golden and blipping and delicious. That's your basic apple crumble. Let's take it up a notch. Let's do a second version, fruit combo. We shouldn't just think that fresh fruit is the only way. Frozen fruit is a game changer. What I've got here is a berries and blackcurrant mix. Whack a gas hob on, put a little bit of water in a pan, add some sugar, just about 100 grams, and then straight in with the fruit. It's about a kilo, just half an orange in there. Let's get a lid on, bring it to the boil. Now, as far as this basic crumble topping is concerned, could we do anything to it to sort of inflict even more deliciousness? And the answer, I think, is yes. These are flaked almonds. Crunch them up like that. I absolutely love them. And let's have a look in here. Smells incredible. And now we've got a beautiful bramble crumble with an almond and vanilla topping. Yes. Right, so this goes in the oven half an hour again until golden and crisp. And then I can show you potentially my favorite crumble. And this is a stone fruit crumble. Have a little look at this. So I'll show you what I've done. I've just got beautiful stone fruit like plums, nectarines, peaches, apricots you could use, any combination you like. Take the stone out, put it in halves or quarters. I've sweetened this with 2 things. One is some honey, beautiful. And 2, I just got some strawberries and grated it. And it's a really nice natural way to sweeten. And that roasting for about 20 minutes, it just makes it jammy and intense and delicious. And the other thing I love, love, love to do is beautiful porridge oats. So a nice handful in like that. Just use your hands. Porridge oats give it an incredible flavor, a lovely texture, and I absolutely love it. So this goes back in the oven for about 20 minutes, half an hour until golden and delicious. Let's let these cook, and when they're all cooked up, I'll show you what to do later. So it's that time where the 3 crumbles are ready. Beautiful, beautiful crumbles. Look at them, very exciting. Let's go in with our apple first. Come on, very pleasing. I'm gonna go for classic custard. Then we're gonna go for this beautiful brambles. Look at that, look at the color, come on. The smell is something else, and I love it when the ice cream starts to melt. Yes. And last but not least, we're gonna go for the roasted stone fruit crumble. Beautiful, such amazing, intense flavors. Now I get to have 3 mouthfuls of 3 crumbles. Humble apple crumble. Memories of school dinners, good ones. Good school dinners, Mrs. Gilby, love you, amazing. And then we got the frozen fruit to be able to go into a freezer and grab some topping and some fruit and knock out something that's homely and like a little hug. This is what we need in life, I think. So, I love that. So good, completely different. Last but not least, the roasted fruit crumble. You know, it kind of feels a bit more grown up, a bit more adulty, I suppose, and what a wonderful way to finish a meal.
I might have to start from the beginning again. I'm not sure if I said everything correctly.
I think it's just an amazing dessert that makes me very happy, and I hope you enjoy it too. So until next time, take care.